Please subscribe our channel Knowledge Distributor for latest technology and smartphone videos.
Technology. Today we're discussing the iPhone 10 from 2017 versus the iPhone 10R from 2018. Today was a huge day for Apple, announcing the new 11-inch iPad, along with a new 12-inch iPad, a new MacBook Air, new Mac Minis, tons of product announcements for creatives over there in Brooklyn, New York. It was a pretty wild event in terms of lots of cheering, lots of clapping. So let me know your thoughts on those new products down below. That A12X is a beast, but so is that A12 and a 10R. And can that A12 really outshine this A11? Let's go ahead and begin with a boot up test in 3, 2, 1 and see which one does get there first. Now, I gotta tell you right now, I've been super impressed with the iPhone 10R, mostly because it's like this $1,000 phone packaged in a $750 price point. Yes, the screen, a lot of people talk about that, but most people are not really caring too much once they get a 10R about that display. So the iPhone 10 with the win on the boot up with that A11. So far, it goes to the iPhone 10. Okay, so let's quickly test out Face ID. So you can see there goes the iPhone 10. We can also start swiping and then just look at it and it'll go in. Now, Apple does claim that it's a little faster due to the secure enclave on the newer iPhones. I haven't noticed it to be so much faster, just noticed it to be a little bit more reliable than last year's iPhone 10. So let's go ahead and check this out. 3, 2, 1. You can see very fast. 3, 2, 1. And basically you're getting the same feature that you would get on the iPhone 10. So I missed a little bit because I moved my head towards the microphone, but it's about the same when it comes to Face ID. I just think the 10R hasn't missed as many times for me as the iPhone 10 did. Okay guys, so one thing I noticed about the lock screen camera is that 3D touch is actually a little more snappy than that haptic feedback on the 10R. So a lot of times I've been finding that with the 10R, you just have to hold it a little bit longer to get that camera open, like so. You've seen it's just a little bit longer for the 10R than the iPhone 10. So the iPhone 10's 3D touch is definitely quicker than that haptic feedback. You'll also see it when you're in Control Center as well. So if we come into Control Center, you just click it. It's very quick there for the iPhone 10. Over here on the 10R, it's just a little bit of a delay because it has to recognize that you're doing a long press. So the 10R is slower with that haptic feedback than the 3D touch on the iPhone 10. Okay guys, so we have arrived at the application portion of the speed test. I'm gonna make sure everything is closed out on both devices. Now the iPhone 10 has a 120 Hz touch sample rate. So does the iPhone 10R. So they're both about the same when it comes to how fast they respond to the touch. Let's go into calendar. You can see the 10R look to be ahead there. Both are very smooth coming home. Calculator, you can see about the same there. What about clock? You can see same there again. Let's go into Snapchat. You can see that goes to the iPhone 10. Now, some of these applications are going to win on the 10 because they're better optimized. Developers have to get on board with all 3 new iPhones. It's a lot of work to get all those apps updated. So in a little while, the 10R apps should be even more close to the iPhone 10. Let's go into WhatsApp. And you could see WhatsApp, it looked like it was slightly on the 10, very microsecond slightly. Let's go into Instagram. And you could see Instagram looked about the same on both devices. Let's go over here. You can see very similar performance on both. So coming home, let's go into YouTube. And this is a good sign for people who want to get a cheaper iPhone 10R versus all of these other $1,000 plus iPhones, is that it has identical performance. Let's go into Prime Video. And you could see Prime Video is a win for which device is going to get it. That looks slightly to the iPhone 10. Let's go into Amazon. You can see Amazon is first on, it looked like the 10R was slightly ahead there. Let's go ahead and click this bag. And you can see the 10R a little bit ahead there. Graphics performance though is massively improved, like 50% for the 10R. So if you're a gamer, you might like the 10R. It also has better battery life than the iPhone 10, which makes gaming even better because you don't want it to die in the middle of your game. Let's go into Slither. You can see Slither is first a little bit for the 10R. Play against AI, about the same in here. Bigger screen though equals a spacious canvas for the 10R versus the 10 when it comes to gaming. Let's go into Jetpack Joyride. And you can see Jetpack Joyride is going to the iPhone 10R. So nice stuff there for that device. Let's go into Dead Trigger 2, 3, 2, 1. And you can see which one loads it first. The 10R sprightly, very quick. It was a little bit ahead there. And it looks like it's a little bit ahead here again. So you've seen it just very slightly here on Dead Trigger 2, but when you actually start to get into the game, both of them are beasts in performance. I mean, the A11 was already the fastest like gaming phone on the market last year, so and nothing really caught up. So the 10R just takes it up a notch. It's like extra power you probably don't even need, but it's there, and that's a good thing when it's cheaper than last year's phone. Let's go into Real Racing 3. Now, I know a lot of people have had the question, should I get a used iPhone 10 or should I buy an iPhone 10R? I'm going to reserve that for a full comparison if you guys want to see that. But I'm liking the 10R when it comes to a value standpoint over the 10, even with its better OLED screen, stainless steel body. It just seems like it's more worth it to buy an iPhone 10R because of some key factors. Let's swipe to get started here. Let's go to career. Let's go to amateur because I'm an amateur racer over here. Let's go ahead and tap the enter and let's see which one can get into this race first. Let's go ahead and hit race and see which one loads it up first. Now the 10R should win this, but it's pretty close. Again, graphics almost identical on both devices, but you do have improved ones for the 10R. But like I say, right now, most apps are not taking advantage of this just yet because the 10R just came out, but it does have the superior graphics. Let's go into speed test and you can see speed test about the same. Let's go into video shop. And again, very similar. Let's go into iMovie. And you can see iMovie looked to be on the 10. Let's go into Geekbench. This is going to the 10 because Geekbench hasn't updated for these new iPhones just yet. Let's go into Safari. And you can see the iPhone 10 slightly ahead there. So you can see throughout this test, it's basically identical in real world everyday app opening times and running games and stuff. Optimization issues are still here for the 10R. Whereas more apps are definitely more optimized for the 10 and 10S. So if you want a more complete experience, the 10 is still better at this current time, but the 10R is a beast for the price. Okay guys, so what I'm gonna do here is just run through multitasking to see if we get any app openings like reloads. Let's go into calendar, nothing, calculator, nothing, clock, nothing, Snapchat, nothing. What about WhatsApp? Nothing. Instagram coming home, YouTube coming home, Prime Video coming home, and Amazon. Let's swipe out of there. eBay, let's swipe out of there. Slither, let's come out of there. Good RAM management so far. iOS 12, iPhone 10. Dead Trigger 2, you can see that a little bit of a pause there. And Real Racing, ready to go. And how about Speed Test, ready to go. Video Shop, ready to go. iMovie, with a slight reload there. What about Geekbench? Nothing, and Safari is ready. So only one reload, a little bit there on iMovie. What about the iPhone 10R with also having 3 GB of RAM? You could see calendar, calculator, clock, Snapchat, WhatsApp, Instagram with the reload here for the 10R. A little bit surprising considering it's an A12. And you could see Prime Video. Prime Video stutters a little bit. Actually, that wasn't a stutter. It was an advertisement. So we're going to take that back. It wasn't a stutter for the 10R. It was an ad that popped up. Amazon. Let's go into eBay and let's go into Slither. Let's go into Jetpack Joyride. Dead Trigger 2, same thing as the 10. Real Racing, Speed Test. Let's go into Video Shop and let's see if iMovie. Yes, iMovie did the same thing on the 10R and Geekbench and Safari. So RAM management about the same on both. It's kind of expected. They both have 3 GB of RAM. So I think the 10R is still more impressive for the price because it's basically matching that of the iPhone 10. Okay, so here we are in iMovie. I shot a video on the 10R at 4K 30. It's about a minute or so long on here, airdropped into the iPhone 10. And now we're gonna go ahead and render it in its full resolution to see which one is quicker. Let's go into save video and let's go ahead and hit the 4K resolution, 3, 2, 1, and see which one can render this out first. So if the 10R is actually more powerful, it should show it here in this render test. Now I'll speed it up a little bit and I'll be back when I do finish the export. Okay, so the iPhone 10R is done. About 4 seconds or so faster than the iPhone 10 now. That's only a 1-minute clip. Let's raise that clip up to like 5-10 minutes. The 10R should be significantly in the lead over the 10. So that shows right there that the iPhone 10R is a more powerful smartphone than the iPhone 10. And here we are with Geekbench, and of course you guessed it, the iPhone 10R with an easy win, almost 1,000 points on the multi-core, better than the iPhone 10 over here. Not so much in the single core, but definitely in the multi-thread stuff. The iPhone 10R pulls way ahead over the 10. In conclusion, iPhone 10 or iPhone 10R, which one is faster? Well, that's the 10R. You've seen it in Geekbench, you've seen it in iMovie. You also seen it in many, applications being about the same as the 10. So if you're looking for the more speedier, powerful phone, that's going to be the iPhone 10R, even though it's cheaper than most iPhone 10 ever was when it was on the market. Now, in the used market, you can get the 10 for the same price, but if you don't need that OLED screen, I do think the 10R is the better option here. But that's just my take on it. You might differ. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section of this video. If you enjoyed the speed test, click that like button for me. If you have any other video suggestions, recommendations, leave them